Are you Matthew Aldridge?
I'm the attorney of fact for Matthew Aldridge.
You were what?
The attorney of fact.
Attorney what?
Of fact.
Attorney of fact. And what does that mean?
You know, his authorization to do legal representation.
Are you a licensed attorney?
No, I'm simply an attorney of fact.
Okay. And does that mean you have a...
All right, everyone. Today's court hearing is completely wild. We have Matthew Aldridge here, or at least that's the name listed in the paperwork. But the man at the podium is pulling the classic I don't have a name routine. He's calling himself an attorney of fact, which, by the way, isn't even a real concept in law. These sovereign citizen types always try to argue that the court has no authority over them. But here's the reality. Courts have jurisdiction over anyone within their area, period. The judge isn't buying it for even a second and shuts him down in an absolutely epic way at the end, completely outsmarting him. Let's get into it.
Sure.
I don't have.
You don't have a name? Pardon?
I'm the attorney of fact for the respondent mayor.
Well, let me explain to you. Only an attorney at law can stand in court and represent a criminal defendant. And to do so otherwise violates the criminal law statutes of the state of Tennessee and could land someone who attempts to represent themselves as an attorney at law in serious trouble. I understand what you're saying. I understand you're saying an attorney in fact. And what I want you to understand is that if you have a power of attorney, then you need to demonstrate that power of attorney. Do you have a legal document called a power of attorney?
No, I do not this time.
Okay. Then you don't have any authority to act on behalf of Matthew Aldridge in this court. You have no legal authority, nor do you have any authority through a legal document to represent or to act on behalf of Matthew Aldridge.
Why don't the court just let me file this document?
Show it to the bailiff and he'll show it to me. Apparently there's a copy.
I mean, it's one thing that the guy is claiming to be an attorney of fact, but to support it, he literally handed the judge a piece of paper. I know you didn't get to see it because it was a slower moment, but the paper basically quoted a completely made-up law that supposedly gives him the right to represent Matthew Aldridge. For anyone wondering, real attorneys must be licensed by the state and follow actual legal procedures. None of this DIY, single-sheet, legal fantasy nonsense. Sovereign citizens like this guy love to argue about jurisdiction as if declaring themselves above the law actually works, and spoiler alert, it doesn't. Courts rely on well-established laws, not imaginary ones, and the judge here clearly isn't entertaining any of this. Honestly, is this whole sovereign citizen thing becoming more common, or am I just unlucky enough to keep running into these bizarre cases? Let me know in the comments.
And personally in this court for the plea day on his case, which is set for trial tomorrow. And as a result, you have no standing, sir, under what I know what you're trying to do is to try to use the sovereign citizen approach to this situation. And I'm simply telling you that you do not have the right to represent Matthew Neal Aldridge. If you are in fact Matthew Neal Aldridge, then you need to say so and stop this nonsense, because what you're attempting to do has no legal effect. You cannot challenge the criminal law or the jurisdiction of this court by simply filing some legal mumbo jumbo having to do with civil litigation. That has civil litigation in it. It is not a criminal case that you have cited. So it has no effect on this court regarding the criminal statutes of this court. This court is empowered under the Constitution of the United States of America and the Constitution of the state of Tennessee and by the duly elected citizens of Cheatham County to empower and enforce the laws of the state of Tennessee. And that is what I'm going to do regarding Matthew Lynn Aldridge. Mr. Aldridge is set for today to appear in court personally on what we call our last plea day before his trial date tomorrow.
Is that an article 3 trial?
To what?
Would that be an article 3 trial? A trial by jury with jury?
It would be a trial by jury. Certainly it would be. But I don't know who you are. And I don't think you have any authority if you are not Matthew Lynn Aldridge to appear before this court. And you're wasting valuable time to all of these other citizens who are here today. So when I'm talking, you stop talking. No, you will when I'm finished talking. You are wasting the court's time by doing this. And I'm just simply instructing you that if you are in fact Matthew Lynn Aldridge, then this is your last day to settle your case. The trial date is set for tomorrow, and unfortunately, it will not go forward because of the fact that I have a conflict and I have to be in Stewart County on a civil matter. So we're going to assign a new trial date for Matthew Lynn Aldridge. All right, to Matthew Aldridge.
This judge is handling the situation like an absolute professional, staying calm while shutting the man down at every turn. The guy barely had a chance to push his so-called attorney of fact nonsense before the judge dismantled it piece by piece. It almost seemed like the judge had seen this kind of thing many times before, especially once the man started quoting his made-up laws. What made it even funnier was the moment the judge pointed out that he couldn't even say his own name, which was unexpected since judges are usually very stoic and show little expression. From the start, it was clear the judge wasn't going to waste any time on this circus. And in the end, it just shows how ridiculous and pointless these kinds of stunts really are.
And we will set a July 15th trial date for Mr. Aldridge. Whatever this document is that you have filed is in fact invalid because it does not cite any valid criminal statute, and therefore I'm denying whatever that might be in the way of a motion. The trial date will be July 15th. The last day for Mr. Aldridge to enter a plea or go to trial will be July the 8th. July the 8th. Now, we're going to give you a card. If you are in fact Matthew Aldridge and you're just playing games with the court regarding this nonsense that you filed, then you may get this card and you may go on about your business. If you are not Matthew Aldridge, then I would suggest to you, you relay to Mr. Aldridge that he must appear on July the 8th, or a bond revocation will take place, and his case will be will take place with him in jail, incarcerated on the 15th. That's the judgment of the court. You need to take your piece of paper and go on about your business.
Sovereign citizens are truly something else. These are people who believe they can simply opt out of the legal system by claiming they don't recognize the government's authority. They often ramble about things like common law or the UCC, the Uniform Commercial Code, while completely misunderstanding how those laws actually function. To be clear, courts operate under federal, state, and local laws that have existed for centuries and are backed by the Constitution, and there is no loophole that allows someone to decide the rules no longer apply to them. Yet these individuals clog courtrooms with bizarre arguments, waste everyone's time, and ultimately accomplish nothing except earning themselves a criminal record. Legally speaking, the entire sovereign citizen defense collapses because of jurisdiction. Courts have authority over anyone within their geographic area regardless of whatever legal nonsense is claimed. These ideas may sound clever in echo chambers, but judges have heard it all and don't entertain it for a second. And for anyone wondering, try to avoid taxes or dismiss tickets with these tactics doesn't just fail, it can actually lead to harsher penalties for wasting the court's time. I honestly don't understand why people keep trying this, whether they think they're outsmarting the system or acting out of rebellion. Either way, it's ridiculous and honestly kind of sad because they're not fighting the system at all, just making fools of themselves. Anyway, guys, that's going to wrap up my breakdown for today. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts on sovereign citizens in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and take care.